I hope everyone has been doing well, and it's wonderful to see you all here. Isabella, Robin, Yao, Stella, Rebecca, I'm just gonna say your names, Hazel, Alex, Anthony. Wait, I see two Anthonys? No, just one Anthony. Christina, Risa, Sonia, Juliana, Tiffany, Jethro, Sophia, Tessa, David, Will, Jay, Maria, Sai, hope I'm pronouncing it right, Zoe, and Tori. It's really great to see you. Oh, and now we have someone else joining us. It's really wonderful to see you all. And sorry, one more, just letting in from the waiting room. Anyway, so yeah, just again, really wishing everyone a great start to the year. And I cannot think of a better way to kick off our new semester, which I know is called winter session, but it is also officially spring semester. They are one. Just letting someone else in. Then to have our amazing alum, Yong Choi, join us today. He's right over here. I'm going to spotlight him in a second. Words can't really express. we're going to start crying like very early on into this, but words can't express how wonderful Nok is as an artist and as a human being. And Nok has been a tremendous source of strength and inspiration and guidance to me ever since I first met him when he joined us at CalArts. Was it 2011 that you
Yep,
was your freshman?
2011.
2011 BFA 1 year. Nok was also the TA for our Friday night talks. Was it for all 4 years, or it was 3 years, right?
I believe it was 3 years.
It was 3 years, yeah, not the freshman year. So for 3 years, and that meant that pretty much every Friday night we were in the palace. The amount of sweat that we emitted, well, poor Nok was having to move all the chairs around, but collectively, you all know, like, speakers will show up late or too early. we have things to do, but we have to chat with them, and or they're late and we're like, where's the speaker? And Nok is upstairs, I'm downstairs, or vice versa, and we're texting each other. And many things happened over those 3 years in all the different talks. We were chatting last week, and I was telling Nok, we were reminded of the time that we were in the palace, and I honestly forget how this happened. I think it was really messy after. Must have been life drawing. I'm gonna blame life drawing. Sorry for any life drawing. Might watch this later. But it's really messy, I think. And we were trying to clean it up before one of the talks, like between when life drawing ended and when the talk started. And there was like a pencil sharpener, an automatic pencil sharpener, and somehow it fell off the desk of the palace and like just threw up this entire smoke cloud of lead right where we were standing. It like fell right in front of our faces, and we just like, we're covered in lead. And then Nok literally ran and got the vacuum cleaner that's like in the cupboard and started vacuuming. And it was just, there were so many experiences. The last thing I'll say is we also developed a sort of like sign language for the Friday night talks, where Nok was kind of in the back where the whole like station was to manage the lights and the sound, and I was more towards the front for when the speakers would like look at me like not knowing what to do next or something, and I'd be like, okay, so we were kind of separated like that. So I think it was before I had a proper texting plan on my phone, but we developed a way of like, lights and like sound, all kinds of other stuff. So anyway, I'll stop taking up all this time that I want Nok to speak for, but anyway, it's just to say that those are some of my memories of our time together at CalArts. But Nok is a extremely profound individual who has an amazing outlook on life and on art making. And for that reason, I'm so glad for him to come and talk to us today about his recommendations for how we should approach this spring semester, which, as we know, can be quite stressful. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Nok, and I'm going to spotlight you. And again, just thank everyone who joined. And let's see here, and go for it.
All right, so I'm gonna start sharing screen. All right, can everyone see this? Awesome.
Perfect.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here. And the lecture that I have prepared for you is Ready, Mindset, Go, Navigating the Infinite Possibilities of You. So aloha, everyone. Knock, knock. Who's there? Knock. My name is Knock, like knock on the door. And this is the little me. And I was born in Korea, but I was raised in Hawaii. And my mother really wanted a daughter. So ever since I was little, she was disappointed that I was a son. So she would dress me up as a princess. So I had a very quirky family. And these are my beautiful parents, my mom here and my dad. And when I was a senior, in high school, I went up to my Asian parents and I told them, "Hey, mom, hey, dad, I'm not going to animation. I want to be an artist." And they looked at me with such disappointment, with such sadness in their eyes. And they were like, "How dare you tell us that you want to be an artist? You disappoint us, you dishonor our family." And they said, "You should be a doctor, lawyer, or a businessman." And I was really devastated. I was like, man, these are the people I love the most. And here they are telling me that I cannot do the things that I want to do. So the question came, what do you do when people you love the most don't believe in your dreams? Some people that you respect, some people you admire, some people you honor. But what do you do when they do not believe in you? The answer I found is that you surround yourself with people who believe in you and your dreams while practicing kindness and patience to those who don't. And so what ended up happening was I got to meet amazing professors and teachers who just really surrounded me with this love. And I ended up applying to CalArts. And the journey to CalArts has been very hard, but it has been the most amazing, the most beautiful, soul-searching journey that I've ever gone on. And to just do a quick recap, the my background is I was a development artist for Cartoon Network Studios and Frederator Studios, working on original series, so a lot of TV show stuff. I got to direct for Disney Junior. I got to work with multidisciplinary projects with dancers, actors. I got to storyboard for Angry Birds 2 for a little bit. I worked on a live action with Emily Dean as a prop master. So I got to design all the sets. Crazy, right? What? And eventually I went to the world of VR, virtual reality, and I got to work with companies with Crimes of Curiosity, which ultimately led me to the Walt Disney Studios, the Studio Lab, where I got to work with AI, artificial intelligence, AR, augmented reality, and VR, virtual reality, and creating the worlds and technologies and stories of tomorrow. So currently, I'm developing projects for Netflix and Oculus. So just doing a bunch of whole thing, bunch of different things. And I want to share some quotes with you. And then the quote is, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go do that. Because what the world needs is people who come alive. And this is by Thurman. The second quote is, you find true success and happiness with one goal, to fulfill the highest, most truthful expression of yourself as a human being. Max out your humanity by using your energy to lift yourself up, your family, and the people around you. By Oprah. So the winter session has started, and that means winter is coming. Um, and by winter at CalArts, we mean spring semester. Oh, the joyous spring semester when the entire world, the flowers bloom, and it's such a beautiful light. Its warmth is coming, and the birds are singing, the trees are dancing in the wind. But here at CalArts, there is devastation. We are on total war. We are fighting for our soul, fighting for our future, and we're just doing our best to survive. So in today's lecture, the Ready, Mindset, Go, Navigating the Infinite Possibilities of You, I'd like to share the lessons and just amazing things that I have gained over the years of experience and being at CalArts, and sharing these lessons to help you to navigate in the spring semester, the winter of CalArts. So I had a little moment to reflect, and I wanted to break down the CalArts years, and just have like, what does each year kind of mean? And I got to come up with these things. So BFA one for me, it was about experimentation. So first experiences. Oh my God, what am I doing? LOL. What is film? BFA two, it was learning about the industry standards. Okay, what does the animation industry do? And you kind of try to understand the style and the work and things like that. And you kind of begin to see your style changing a bit. BFA three, you have a stronger work. Your film is stronger and it's more of a more stronger in the industry standard. The storytelling is clearer. The character designs are more appealing. But in that year, there's this loss of voice. Like, who am I as an artist? Kind of a little loss of self. I don't quite understand like what is it that I want. And then BFA four, I think, is when it all kind of comes together, where you create stronger worth, you understand the industry more, and you eventually find your voice again. So this is a journey that I went on in the 4 years that I was at CalArts. It was about experimentation, learning, growing stronger, and finding my voice. So for the BFA ones, when they're all here, they're so beautiful. They have the perfect skin, they have fashion, and they're just like stunning. And there's like, oh my gosh, they're so talented. You know, they're like the BTS and the Blackpink of K-pop. And here we are. When I was a fourth year, this is how I felt. This was me in my fourth year state. I was like, give me a job. Oh my God. What am I doing? There's all these beautiful people and I still don't know what I'm doing. So there's this chaos that was going inside me, and I decided to let's see. Okay, let's see if I can reload. Show anyway. Okay, that didn't work. But I had a meme where it was like zombies on the left side, and then like beautiful people on the right. On the, but you get the gist. But that was like that nuance that I always felt, that there's always like this new group of people coming, and I was just like decaying as the years went by. And the first topic that I want to talk to you about is dreams. Dreams, everyone. So this is my best friends from CalArts. This is Paula, and this is Jan. This is our first year at CalArts, and we kind of became like the Harry Potter, the trio. Me and Jan, we always argue who's the Ron of the group. I always like to say I'm the Harry Potter, and Jan is like I'm the Harry Potter. In reality, I'm the Ron, and Harry's, Harry, and of course Paula, the most wisest, most beautiful being. She's the Hermione that brings out the boys, And this is us in our fourth year. And as silly as it sounds, in our first year, I remember us, we're in our cubes and we're like, hey, we're beginning CalArts, and what is your dream? Like, what do you want to do? And we're like, ha 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 ha. I want to work at Pixar. I want to be a story artist at Pixar. Ha ha, silly dreams. And I was like, ha ha ha, I want to direct at Disney. All of our dreams came true. Crazy. It's insane, but there's a privilege of that. And I think when I look back, my journey at CalArts is because of the friends that I had. It was the relationships that I was able to build. Every time I was feeling down, it was Jan and Paula who really brought me up. And I think for my class, I'm really thankful for my class because we're kind of like a family unit. Where we always supported each other, and we always really congratulated each other and build each other up. So this is the some of our gang. So this is Emily Dean. She's one of my other best friends, and Maddie. She recently did a short in front of Seoul Borough. And these are my boys. So Jan, Seth, and John. We were roommates together when we were at CalArts. And poor Seth, here's this guy from Indiana, out of like a country, and he was surrounded by Asian boys. So we just ate Asian food all day and things like that. And funny enough, when we graduated, I helped Seth move to a new apartment in LA. And I opened his fridge. and it was fridge was full of rice, kimchi, red pepper paste, like all the Asian ingredients that if you didn't know it was Seth, like you would have thought an Asian person was living there. So it's just really funny how we just like grew up together and just truly influenced each other. And I'd also like to acknowledge Martha. She's the fairy godmother of animation. She just sparkled her fairy dust and it's like, hello everyone. And she just shared love everywhere she went. And this is some recent pictures of when I had like a project that I was showcasing. This is Portland. So Portland is actually my senpai, so she's a year above me. But Portland loved our class so much, and we loved her so much that we adopted her into our class. So we kind of became a unit. But there's Paula, there's Robert, there's Matt, and the gang. And so you're on a beautiful journey of finding who you are. And on this journey, there are things that come to you, and it's doubt, comparing ourselves to others, fear, anxiety, feeling defeated. And the question I want to ask you is when you reflect on yourself today, are you compromising your dreams and your capabilities? Let me ask that one more time. When you reflect on yourself today, are you compromising your dreams and your capabilities? Um, so with this talk, I would like us to break the limits that we have and set our dreams and potentials to be as big as we can. And it starts with CalArts. So during this moment, over the experience of CalArts that you had, you might have a lot of fear and you might compare yourself to others. Oh man, this person is doing so great. I can never do that. This person already interned there. I'll never do that. But let us take a moment to kind of find ourselves again. And I'd like to ask you a series of questions. The first question is, what is your very first memory of hearing about CalArts? What is your very first memory of hearing about CalArts? For me, it was about my dad actually cut a newspaper out because I was kept telling how I want to do art. So he cut this newspaper out of a Korean newspaper, and it just stated the three top art schools in the United States, and CalArts was on the top. And he just like put it in my room, and he didn't say a word, and he just left. And that was the first time that I ever heard about what CalArts was. And I was like, oh, what an interesting place. The second question I want to ask you is, at what point have you decided for yourself that you want to go to CalArts? When was it a moment in time that you said, I'm going to go to CalArts? And the third question I want to ask you is, what actions did you take to come to CalArts? By coming to CalArts, you have achieved a dream that many did not get to achieve. Do you have any idea how many interactions, how many coworkers I meet in the animation world, where every day a coworker tells me, "Hey, Knock, it was my dream to go to CalArts, but I didn't get to go, just because it didn't work out. I didn't get in." And throughout the years, from strangers all around the world, I get messages of saying, you're so lucky that you got to go to CalArts. I wish I could go there, but I never had the guts to apply. So the fact that from the moment you first heard about CalArts and to the moment you decided to go to CalArts and you took the actions to apply and to be here, that is a testament that you are able to achieve your dreams. And it goes to this lesson that we are always living two lives, our living life and the unlived life. Our living life is our current situation, this current experience that we live. It is often grounded in the rules. It is often limited by the things that we have seen in the world. But within us, there is a second life that lives deeper, and it's this unlived life. And it's this daydream that you have, the dream that you have fostered over the years, that yearns on the life that you can create for the future, of things that is possible. And this unlived life within you is limitless. It does not count on the rules of the world, but it takes you on the potential that you see for yourself. You have beat all the odds to be where you are today. You have beat the odds of thousands of people that I've met so far, thousands of people who apply every year to be where you are today. So for me, my brothers and sisters, that is a testament to the power that you have. So have you compromised any of the dreams that you have when you started this journey? And if so, why have you compromised? What are your dreams? What is it that you want to accomplish this semester in this life? And let that be the testament to the power that you have. You are someone who can go after dreams and achieve their dreams. So, what is stopping you from achieving your dreams? My question for you is, what is your next dream? For the spring semester is the hardest term at CalArts. There's classes, homework, film, portfolio, job searches. So many things going on. It is chaos. And for a lot of people, they're able to do both portfolio and film. But for some of us, there comes a point where they decide to choose either a portfolio or film. And there's no wrong answers here. We completely understand why some people do this. And it is often because of health, because they do not have the mental capacity to do everything. It is a bit too much that, they want to like set boundaries from themselves so they do not kill themselves over it. I would like to share my experience of the portfolio and film and how that has shaped me in my career. And when we come to films and portfolios, there are these two ideas that lingers within, and it's the ideas of failures and rejections. Deeper, it is the fear of failure and rejections. But when you decided to do one or the other, every choice that you make, there is an economic term called the opportunity cost. And this was taught to me by my friend Emily Dean. The loss of potential gain from other alternatives when one alternative is chosen. So let me share my experience with you. So when I was at CalArts, I did portfolio and films every year. Looking back, they were crap. They were really quite bad. But for the first 3 years, I never got a call back. And what I would do is I'll go to Maya and I'll just sob. I was like, I'm such a loser. My portfolio is so bad. And I'll just beat myself up for it. Um, and one thing I learned is that a fail stands for few attempts in learning. Let me say that one more time. When you fail, fail stands for few attempts in learning. It is inevitable that we must fail in order to learn and grow. You only become a failure when you give up, or you become a failure because of the fear of failing consumes your life, that you become so careful in living that you don't try anything and you become a failure by default. So by fail, when it means few attempts in learning, it means that you to have failed at something means that you have learned something, that you have grown in some capacity. And as you apply for work and as you do your portfolio, you're going to hear a lot of no. But in your life, every time you hear no, I want this to resonate with you. No simply stands for next opportunity. When you hear a no in your life, it is simply a life's way of saying, what is your next move? It is simply a navigation in your GPS prompting you to move in the direction you need to go to. So for the first years, I never got a call back and I was just beating myself up for it. And in my fourth year, when I did a portfolio, I ended up getting callbacks from DreamWorks, Pixar, and Disney. And the recruiters came to me and said, "Hey, Knock, we have been watching your work for the past 3 years, and we're so excited to see how you have grown over the years." So that was a lesson of opportunity cost. Had I not done my portfolio in my personal experience, I would have not had the chance to really connect with the recruiters and even befriended all of them. To this day, I'm still connected to them through LinkedIn, through Facebook, and I receive opportunities from them from time to time. So the success is not about this achievement of things, but it is this build out that you have, that in moments of failure, you are learning. It is a few attempts that you're going for. In the no, it is the next opportunity that you seek. So when you hear a no, let's say that you don't hear back on a portfolio day. It's a no. Let's play a scenario. It's a portfolio day and it's a no. A game begins. How do you take the no? What is your next move? For the first 2 years of hearing no callbacks on portfolio day, I sat around in the corners in tears. But that did not get me anywhere. A lesson of rejection is that there is always something that you can do. So when you hear a no, what you can do is you can go to the recruiters and say, "Hey, I'm sorry to take your time, but would it be okay if I get some advice with you?" At this day and age, social media is amazing. You can literally connect with people all around the world. So if you are able to create a LinkedIn, if you have Instagram, connect with the recruiters and send them a message and see if you can receive some advice and build this relationship with the other person. There's always something that you can do to take the no into an opportunity of growth. So fail stands for few attempts in learning. To have failed means that you have taken the chances on life and gave effort to move forward. To have failed in something means that there are lessons you must learn to be the best version that you can be. No stands for next opportunity. When you hear a no in your life, it is simply a life way to asking you, what is your next move? It is a GPS having you navigate to the right answers. So let us learn to embrace failures and rejections of life, for the lessons we learn along the way only helps us to build ourselves. So where do we go from here? So we start from the beginning. How did you end up where you are today? What inspired you to go into the arts? What gives you strength to pick up your pencil every day? What inspires you to go to war with resistance and share your experiences of life? Why is it that you do what you do? And what are some of the dreams that you dream of for the days of tomorrow? What stories inspire you? What things excite you? And how can you seize this moment to be the best person that you can be? Where do you see yourself in the future? And what do you see yourself doing? Oftentimes, when we begin our dreams, we ask ourselves, where do you want to work at? And for us, it started with the same question for us. Where do you want to work at? Oh, I want to work at Disney. I want to work at DreamWorks. I want to work at Pixar, Netflix. Why? Oh, I think I like their films. They make money, good money there. I think that's where all the cool people are, it's just a hot place to be. And as I went on this journey of career, some of the lessons that I learned is that we begin to realize that perhaps it's not about the place we work at, but it's the people we get to work with. Following your dreams is fantastic. Let's see, how can I move this? Okay. Um, but dreams alone cannot bring happiness when it is based on a company or an identity of another. Your dreams must be driven with purpose. Why is it that you do what you do? Why is it that you must accomplish certain things? Why is it that you draw? For me, I thought that working at Disney, it will bring me so much happiness. Working at Pixar for my friends, they thought they'll be really happy. But there are levels of fulfillment that comes with achieving your dreams, but the happiness wasn't quite there. And it led us to the question, why did we start this journey? What is our purpose of being an artist? And through much deep searching, for me, it became about my art has to be about sharing love, sharing warmth. And through this purpose, it was giving me this dream to create and be stronger each day. So the question that we ask ourselves often when we go after your dreams, where do you want to work at? Let's take this step to the next level. A different question you can ask yourself to elevate your journey. Instead of asking, where do you want to work at? Ask, who would you like to work with? When my mentors first told me this, I was like, what? Who I want? I don't know. Like, I don't really know who works in the industry. Why would I want to say that? And it was like really mind-boggling. Like, who would you like to work with? Like, I just want to go to the place, it is that thing. But I recognize that it is the people that you work with that is so monumental. And ask yourself, have you ever asked yourself who you would like to work with in the industry? It can be your classmates, but have you thought about any professionals out there that you would like to work with? Does any names come up to you? For me personally, I had no names. I was like, I don't know anyone, like, And that led me to question, like, why is it that I don't know anyone in the industry that I want to work with? And so this is a moment for you to say, okay, what are the body of works that I really love in the animation industry right now? And if it's a show that you love, if it's a movie you love, kind of hone in the discipline that really called out to you. Is it the character design? Is it the environments? Is it the stories? And then you go into the credits, and I challenge you to look at all the artists that is listed under story, under viz dev, under character design. And I want you to look up each one of their works and see what is it that you like about their work and if any of them resonate with you. And if you find some artists that you really like, that you really respect, and you can say, I would love to work with them one day, the next challenge on top of that is I'd like you to send a connection to them on LinkedIn or send a message on Instagram. And at this moment, you'll be like, what? No, no, I'm an introvert. I can never do that. Please stop. Like this is chaos, this is crazy. But let me tell you, like, I got so many LinkedIn requests and Instagram DMs that said, "Hey, Nog, is it okay if I like grab coffee with you, grab lunch with you, have a Zoom call with you? I'd love to just pick brains with you. I'd love to hear some of your experiences and things like that." And what ended up happening was I bought dinner for them. Like I took them out to grab sushi. I took them out to grab boba and coffee, and I became friends with them. And it led on this really beautiful journey of making new friends. And animation industry is really amazing in that people are always very giving. But here's a trick in doing it. When you message these people with people that you really love, the work that you really love, you never want to message them and say, give me a job. No, that's a big no. You're going to get blocked right away. But a secret to this is you message them and say, hey, I really love your work, and I'm really like stunned by what you did at this project. Would it be okay if I ask you for some advice? The moment you just simply open up yourself to ask for advice, there is no like the fear of like, oh my gosh, I don't have, there's no opening in the job. No, it's just an advice. And that really opens up to another level of relationships they can build in the professional world. So let me ask you, who would you like to work with? Because you can work with anyone that you put your heart and your mind to. Every person that I told myself that I'm gonna work with, it has all come true. I told myself I'm gonna work with the directors of this VR projects, and I ended up working with them. And I didn't even realize it was them because I didn't know their faces. I just knew their names. I ended up working with Goro Fujita, with executives that I really admired, with designers and directors. So put yourself out there and ask yourself and really research, who would you like to work with? And I'd like to do a quick exercise, and this is called the director. I'd like all of us to close our eyes, and let's take a moment. And I'm going to count to three: one, two, three. And when I say three, you're going to open your eyes and you're going to look anywhere in your room for about 5 seconds. Okay? So I'm going to count to three: one, two, three. Open your eyes and look at one point in your room. Okay? Now close your eyes, and I'm going to count to one, two, three again. And you're going to open your eyes and you're going to look at a different area in your room. It can be a complete opposite area or it can be somewhere different, but just a different point. Okay, one, two, three. And at this time, I want you to focus on the sound, the ambience of your surroundings. Okay, we're gonna close our eyes. And last time, on the count of three, you're gonna open your eyes again and you're gonna look at a different direction that you have never seen before. One, two, three. And at this time, I would like you to focus on the feeling of the subjects that you're looking at or the areas that you're looking at. Okay, let's close our eyes and you can open your eyes again. We're back here. Um, just what we just did was each time you open your eyes, you created a new composition. And every time you close your eyes and you looked at somewhere else, you edited and created a different cut. And on the third, you created your final sequence, your final shot. And so this is an exercise to teach you that you have created a composition that is uniquely yours from your perspective, and what you have designed just by the way you looked, the way you cut and edited in your head. You are the director of your life. If at any moment you are unhappy, if you're not feeling fulfilled, you have every power within you to look at the things that inspire you, to go in the direction that you need to go to, and take action to find your voice again. So be the director of your life, be the protagonist, because you have it. It's all within you. And now I want you to close your eyes again, and I want you to imagine that it is the portfolio day. It is a big celebration with all these studios coming. The best of the best are here to take a look at your work. And I want you to imagine that you're just standing in front of your portfolio, and this really higher up recruiter comes to you. It's a senior recruiter of a studio of your dreams. This studio is filled with the people you want to work with. It is the dream studio. It is the most incredible place. This recruiter begins to open your portfolio. And the recruiter tells you, wow, your portfolio is, and how does a recruiter describe your portfolio? As a recruiter flips through your portfolio, what kind of work do you see? What are some of your own works that you see? Is it of character design? Is it of pushing the elements? Is it about stories? Have you played with color? Have you really stretched this medium to the best of possible? What kind of feeling do the recruiters get as they flipped through this portfolio? And as they do, they say how incredible you are as an artist. And they say, if I can describe your portfolio with 3 words, it is this. And they tell you the 3 words. What are the 3 words that the recruiter is telling you? Your portfolio is this. I'd like us to go to the next one. And I want you to imagine that you are at a film festival. You're at the biggest and the best festival in the entire world. And the biggest directors are there, the highest achieving artists are there. And they watch your film, and the film ends. And a director that you really respect, an artist that you highly respect, comes up to you and they say how they were inspired by your film. And they begin to describe your film to you. It is the highest film that I've ever seen, the best of the best. What kind of descriptions do they use to describe your film? What do they say about your film? Your film made me feel this way. Your art made me feel this way. What do the recruiters look at your portfolio? What do the directors looking at your portfolio, your film, say? And lastly, I want you to imagine that you yourself is standing in front of you, and your other self is presenting the most beautiful portfolio. You yourself is presenting the most powerful film, the most amazing film that you have ever created. What kind of works do you see in your future self? And what kind of feeling do you get from that? Let us open our eyes. That's the work that you need to create. Anything less than that is not serving justice to who you are. For many of us, we thought having a job, it would be a very fulfilling thing. But one thing we recognize is that the job that we have, the current artwork that we're doing, it is only the 1% of the possibilities that we can do. So I want you to just let your burdens go, let your anxieties go. And as you navigate the spring semester, truly come alive and ask yourself, what is it that I want to achieve? What are some of the works that I envision for myself? Go and achieve your dreams. On this journey, you're going to see others pass by you, achieve things much faster and quicker than you. But as long as you don't give up, you'll get there. You know, with my parents, I fought with them for so long when I told them I'm gonna go into animation, and they're like, "No, no, no, you're gonna do, don't ever do that. Dishonor for the family." And it took so long to convince them. And when I went to CalArts, they said, "Hey, good luck. We cannot support you financially at all, so you're on your own." So I took out student loans, and I worked 3 part-time jobs just to make ends meet. So my days were filled with those really cheap like ramen noodles, and there were times when I was so like poor in that how there's a chicken flavor, the beef flavor, and the shrimp flavor. This is how poor I was at one point, where I'll have like chicken flavor on regular days, and if it's like a little good day where I did like a good work, I'll eat the beef flavor, and if it's like a little special day, I'll have the shrimp flavor. I mean, like it was tough, like just trying to survive. And one of my other dream was to bring my parents to CalArts because I just wanted to share with them the journey that I was going to introduce them to my friends, to my teachers. But I knew that they had no money. And I remember them telling me that, oh, no, we're going to come to your graduation at CalArts. We would love to come and just, support you. But I knew that them coming to the graduation in CalArts would mean that they had to take out a loan, and that would just put our family further back. So I lied to my parents, telling them, "Oh, please don't come. There's nothing special about CalArts graduation. You're not missing anything. I'll just take a bunch of pictures for you." And there came a point where I wish that my parents could have seen CalArts when I was attending with my friends, with my teachers. Man, my other friends, their parents get to go, but my parents never got to come. And it was the day, the week of graduation, and my friends had families over. And there was one night where I was alone by myself in the cubes, and I just like began to tear up just because I wish my parents were there. And my mom called me, and she was like, "Hey, Knock, we just want to say how sorry we are that we can't be there for you. Have you had better parents? Um, you wouldn't have suffered so much. We would have been there to be with you." And one thing I learned was that I told my parents, "No, mom, you know, I'm so happy that you're my parents because you have taught me that money doesn't bring me happiness, but it's the connections that I have." And although it took me 7 years, um, I got to bring my parents to CalArts, um, and and it was just such a beautiful moment. I kept comparing myself to others. Man, like their parents are coming over every year, and it took me 7 years to bring my parents once, you know. But I got to achieve the dream. It came true for me. And in 2019, with my parents, who said, "You cannot do animation. Please don't do it." Um, I got to fly them out to Disney, and I got to take them around in the studio. And I also gave them some allowance, which made them super happy. um, so, it was this moment where my dreams came true, and it was agonizing. I cried every night, but with my friends by my side, with the people I love, being kind to myself, I was able to just really enjoy the journey and just say how beautiful this journey is. And unfortunately, last year my father passed away, but I'm so happy that I got to fulfill this dream of showing my dad that everything's beautiful, everything works out in one way or form. Um, so I want to speak to my fellow brothers and sisters who are doubting yourself. You have every power in you to achieve anything that you can achieve. I ate rice and beans for 4 years to survive at CalArts. You can do it. You know, be kind to yourself. Enjoy the journey. Learn to let go. But ultimately, do not compromise your dream. But rather, I challenge you to dream bigger. For so many times you hear, "Don't go into that. There's no job in that. You should focus on this." Let those voices settle down and just honor your voice. What brings you alive? What allows you to wake up each day and just give you that fuel to smile another day? Um, so yeah, what's brilliant about CalArts is that they help us to be problem solvers of tomorrow, disruptors, innovators, leaders, pathfinders of the industry. Techniques and skills are always changing. We often ask like, "Oh, can you teach us this? Can you teach us this software?" Those things can disappear in a week, by next year, by the time you graduate. The way we do things today can become obsolete by the next round. But CalArts is a place where you can cultivate your mind, your heart, and yourself. So go do that. May this spring semester uplift you. May this spring semester be of a a term where you take action of your dreams. It is a moment to achieve it. And with every failure that comes your way, you are learning, you're growing, you're planting yourself, and you're defining your foundation and your roots. With every no, it is a next opportunity. You have so many senpais in the animation industry, so many upperclassmen, alums. Literally, every time I bump into a CalArts student, I'm like, let me buy you food, let me treat you to lunch or dinner, you know. And when I bump into them at a studio, I'll be like, as soon as they tell me they're from CalArts, I tear up because I know what they're going through. And I always ask, can I give you a hug? And we hug, and I'll like bawl my eyes out. It's like, it's okay, you got this, just keep going. So we have this like a really amazing family spirit within us, this CalArts mafia. I like to call it CalArts Ohana, where nobody's left behind. Truly, it was my friends who picked me up when I couldn't get up. It was my teachers, Maya. There were so many times when I wanted to give up, but Maya would just be like, "Nah, just keep going," and she would just fill me with inspiration. And it's such a beautiful journey. And I wish that your journey won't be bumpy. I wish that your journey would be just, so easy and just beautiful. But there will come dark times, there will come sufferings, there will come hardships, but it is those moments that really shape you to find your happiness, to find your light in the moments of the dark. So as you embrace this spring semester, what have you got to lose? The only thing you have got to lose is yourself, and the only thing you can gain is yourself. So go on that journey and all the places you go. So enjoy the ride. Find delight in your failures, celebrate it. For you are on your way of achieving your purpose, whatever that may be. All right. So yeah, that sums up my lecture for today. Um,
I'm clapping.
yeah. And then I'm very emotional, so I cry every time. So I apologize for crying. But yeah.
Thank you,
Woo.
Doc. I'm
Yeah, of
seeing
course.
many hearts in the chat. Oh my gosh. I wish we could be in person so we could all give you a hug, but we
Sending
will from
much
afar.
hugs.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Doc, for sharing these very profound ideas and statements and outlooks and mindsets. Honestly, I wish when I was younger, had you to say these things to me. I think my life would have been really different. So I'm very
Mm,
glad that our students are getting to hear this from you. Honestly, just looking at the
thank
chat.
you.
Oh my God, so many lovely comments. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, it's all really true. Thank you for what you're expressing is really such a unique approach. It's logical and everything makes sense. And every time you
Mm.
bring up a new slide, I'm like, yes. But it's funny how until you articulate it in this way, it doesn't really exist out there so much. People don't really say these things like they're focused on do this or do that or but you're really
Mm,
trying to convey how someone should think about what they do, and also that it's limitless, really.
mm. Thank you so much, Mia. And I think it's that journey that I went on with my friends. And, they wanted to be hidden, but I want to shout out to my best friends, Jan and Paula. And also Thomas is here. They're my buddies. And when I was in such a rut, they'll just give me the words of wisdom. And, we'll go be in the queues and we'll just talk about our future, and it was such silly dreams, right? I want to work at Pixar. I want to work at Disney. Ha ha ha. But our dreams came true. Like as crazy as that sounds, like it came true, and it was through hard work. It was through determination, and I think that is what is so beautiful. Is that it is hard, so hard, where it hurts to the bone. But if you can be kind to yourself, just to keep going and never give up, things just fall into place. Things start happening together. And with every rejection, you can take it as your downfall, but let's use that as something of a stepping stone, that this is a moment for me to grow. This is a lesson for me to learn, and this is going to be amazing for me. So, as artists, we turn everything in our lives into a fertilizer, into a gold, into a diamond, where we're able to have introspective, this reflection within us to just continue expanding our hearts. Yeah.
I love that idea of the GPS. Just like a
Mm.
no is just say, okay, so the
Yep.
GPS is guiding you to this corner and to that street and to I had never thought of it that way, but it really
Hmm.
is so true.
And this GPS is like, you're trying to go to this location. It's like, no. So you turn a corner and you might go through the back door. It's like, bam, you're there. You just never know. But it's just like trusting that and also taking action. I think that is such a hard thing as artists. Like, we live in our heads. There's so much fear and anxiety going on. But the moment we're able to kind of articulate it and say, wait a minute, am I being too mean? Am I being too cruel to myself? Then we can have this moment to just say, you know what, I can do better. You know what, I think this is what needs to be done. Um, so yeah, with Jan and Paula, like we went on this like a beautiful journey. So we started CalArts in 2011, and today, this year is 2021. So come September, it's gonna mark our 10-year anniversary of meeting each other for the first time. Um, and that's crazy. And some of the plans we want to have is we want to go to Nintendo World together in Japan once this, coronavirus is over. Go to the Ghibli Museum together. That's our biggest dream for our class. Um, and oh, yeah,
Jan and
and
Paula are here. They just are
yeah.
not on video.
They're in the they're in their stuff.
I can't believe it's
Yeah.
10 years. I was saying to Knock that I remember seeing his portfolio 11 years ago. And it's hard to believe it's a whole decade now.
Mm,
Can't even believe it.
yeah, for
Anyway,
sure.
I wrote in the chat if anyone has any questions for Knock or thoughts to share or just wants to drop anything in the chat or raise your hand, please feel free. I know Knock, you covered a lot, so it's a lot to sort of digest. But I like the idea of turning poop into diamonds. I think that should be a
Yes.
good image for us to keep this semester.
Yes.
Paula,
And then Paula, yeah.
you wrote in the chat. Do you want to read it out now?
Sure. Paula says, just wanted to add that Ohana mentality is a way that we can all change the industry to make it a place where everyone feels welcome. Mm-hmm. So true.
Wonderful point. Very much. Yeah, we should very much carry that forward. And Robin said, CalArts Ohana, where no one gets left behind, makes me feel so much better than the Mafia. I know, Mafia is
Hey,
not really
Robin.
the best word, is it? Knock.
It's cool.
Yeah, right. I know. I've never seen The Sopranos. I don't know anything about the Mafia.
Yeah.
But Knock, you were the person who established the upper class. I don't say upper class men because I feel it's a bit gendered if I say upper class people, but then that sounds bad too because it sounds like the wealthier people. But anyway, let's just say our buffet 2, 3s, and 4s. But you were the person who instigated the singing to the freshmen, right? Do you want to tell us?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I have to spill some tea, but it'll be like anonymous kind of thing. Okay, so here I am from Hawaii, right? And I like had dreams of like CalArts. I was like, oh my gosh, there's gonna be a roller coaster in the middle of a campus. There's gonna be a big Mickey Mouse statue. We're gonna go to Disneyland every weekend because it's gonna be free. Like all these imaginations, right? And here I come, and I'm just giving hugs to everyone. Right now it's controversial, but just culturally, like in Hawaii, that's what we do. um, and then so I was just hugging and just always smiling. And some of the upperclassmen would come to me and they were like, why do you smile so much? You look stupid. Can you stop saying I love you because you don't know what love is? And then can you like stop hugging people? You know, like that's weird. You know, like we don't do that here. And so I went to my cube and I began to just cry. And I was like, oh man, like something really wrong with me. I thought this was so normal when I was growing up to always just be showing love and just like giving love. And I thought I was just this weirdo in this new chapter. And as I was like kind of feeling sad in my cube in the lodge, there were two upperclassmen, and they were just talking and whispering, but I could hear everything they're talking about. And they're kind of talking about every single person in their class and how horrible each person was. They had like this blacklist they had. It was like this person was did this, and this person art sucks. Like who do they think they are? And this just went on and on and on. And I was like, this is not a place that I want to be. Like this is not an environment. I think this is so wrong. So when people were telling you like stop saying I love you and stuff like that, that inspired me to be even more loving. Our class was kind of weird in that we were always hugging each other during breaks, and we're always like holding hands. We're always like very like affectionate to each other, and we just kept that going. And then that kind of love just ended up spreading, and we came up with this idea as like, hey, let's sing to the freshmen during the cube signups as a way to say, hey, we're here for you. We're a family, and we got this. So we will sing the Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And it started with like, I think like 7 people. It took so long to gather people. They're like, oh, I don't sing. And they're like dodging and everything. And by the time I graduated, it was like a full-on ensemble with like upperclassmen in the second floors, with like people peeking through, even people from different departments sometimes like joining in. So it became just like a huge celebration. I was just welcoming the new class into our program. Yeah.
And it continues on. I don't know if people know you were the person that started it. It continues on, right? Because I mean, obviously not this year, but although digitally, virtually, perhaps when sometime. But in the past years, it has been. Yeah, Stella said we kept it going. Yeah.
Yay,
Oh,
Stella.
you did do it, Isabella, this year with videos. Cool. That's really great. So
I
yeah.
remember that the nut played at the ukulele.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Andrew. Well, it's true because by the end, it's like not only were people singing, but like you said, there was a whole like orchestra essentially.
Yeah. It
So
really
good.
was.
Yeah, and that's just one way in which you really worked to not only kind of create that positive spirit, but also inclusivity. Because it's not about splintering off into different groups. It's really about being strong as a whole group together.
Mm,
You know, and I think that that's something that's really important, and that wavers up and down. I think over
mm,
time, and it takes someone like yourself to really
mm.
point that out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And when I talk to my other coworkers from like different art schools, I'll ask them like, "Hey, what was your like experience like at art center or something like that?" And they were like, "It was so competitive. Where if I got an intern or internship somewhere, I'll like keep it a secret, and everything I draw, like I'll try to hide it because people are copying my work." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that is insane!" Like when Jan and Paula got like internships, like I cried for them because I was so happy for them. Like we went out to dinner to like celebrate, and our computer labs became this hub where we share our skills, where we share our knowledge. You'll see this fourth year doing amazing work, and you'll be like, senpai, can you teach me your ways? And then the alums on the upperclassmen will be like, I got you, and they'll like show you the stuff. And it was just like this experience of the sharing, and not having that fear of that competitiveness, that really inspired me just go and do that. And I also see Lee Witz in the chat. Hi Lee. Lee is really amazing. So I ended up working on this project, and For so long in the animation industry, they're like, oh, you want someone that's like of experience and stuff like that. And when we're beginning this VR project, I wanted to create like a new pipeline of like kind of like introducing new talent. And so with Lee, like he was able to just jump in, and he was like so brilliant with the way he executed, and he's doing so great. Um, but there's always that innovation that's happening in the industry. So I would like to, encourage you guys to just keep an eye out. What does animation look like in 5 years, in 10 years, and how are the technologies changing? What kind of stories can we tell? How are the narrative scenes? How are they evolving as times go by? So these are some of the questions that you can ask yourself to keep yourself innovative and in front of others.
Personally, I'm looking forward to the time when I wear my augmented reality contact lenses and I watch some animation while I'm teaching.
Yeah. That would be really
I
fun.
have a question for you, Knox. So,
Yeah.
you're someone who has, like you're describing, and we're talking about, you've worked really hard while you were at CalArts, but also outside, to really create a sense of community and togetherness. And I see Anthony has something in the chat. We'll get to that just momentarily. But I want to ask you, during this challenging year when we all have to keep separate, what are your thoughts and recommendations for how people can still keep that sort of togetherness and connection happening? If you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah. So I think the year 2020, there is a lot of like kind of grief that comes with it, because there's so many changes in our environments happening. The rules and the laws are changing day in and day out. And so there's a grief in that because of the change. And I think one thing we are able to recognize is that while our environments are changing, what can we do with ourselves? And it's this recognition that there is always abundance. When you're in your room, you feel stuck, right? You're like, every day is the same. Is today Monday? Is today Sunday? I have no idea what day it is. Oh my gosh, there's a class happening right now that I missed. It's like this chaos that is happening. But when you're able to recognize the abundance, that there are so many opportunities with you, it leads you to take action. So for example, I follow this businessman named Gary Vee, and he was like, I want you to post every day on Instagram, and I want you to use hashtags. And I was like, oh, silly man, ho ho ho. Like, what does he know? But I decided to take up on the challenge. And he said, just post every day for 30 days and see what happens on social media. So on Instagram, I just did like an Inktober kind of thing. So I started posting every day, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of having fun. I like this rhythm. On the 10th day, I got a DM from an art director from Apple saying they saw my work and how she would love to work with me. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm currently storyboarding on this project, so I don't think I can work for you. And she was like, oh, we'll pay you double. And I was like, yes, ma'am. Like, I'm there. like, yo, like the social media is insane. Like, you are literally able to connect with directors and art directors that you were never able to do in the years past. So there's this abundance, and there's always ways for you to really put yourself out there. And I think there is that lesson of branding. How do you put yourself out there? What is it that you communicate to others of who you are? Some of the things I noticed is that, when I got off the college, when I was applying for work, um, I got rejected, I think at least 100 something 20 times. And there came a point where I applied for like a janitor position at a studio, and I got rejected from it because they said my resume was too high. So imagine I hit the lowest of the low, right? And I was like, I failed. I have all this like student loan coming in. I'm screwed. And it was this lowest point ever. And I watched this documentary of Lady Gaga, and she was saying how she was like jamming out in the nightclubs, and people were throwing beer bottles at her, like and just like really being really nasty. But she kept telling herself that she's a rock star. She's a rock star. So I came to a point where, okay, well, how did I start this journey? Okay, I told myself at the end of my fourth year that I was going to be a director. And all my teachers laughed at me. All my friends laughed at me. No, you need to work at least 10 years to become a director. Are you insane? But something within me was like, I think I can do it for some reason. I know my work is not that strong, but I'm a director. I'm a director. And in September, a week after I got rejected by the janitor, I was ready to give up, but I made a moment to say I'm a director. And the next week, I got a call from Disney Junior saying, "Hey, we saw your film online. Can you come direct this for us?" So it was this insane thing that out of nowhere, she somehow saw my work from my friends that just passed along some of the films, and it was that opportunity cost. Had I not made my film because I was working on my portfolio, or had I not made the portfolio because I was working on my film, there are these opportunities that I would have lost. So while it is so important to be healthy and keep yourself healthy and things like that, it is also, you need to also recognize and be mature enough to recognize the opportunity cost, that if you choose one thing over the other, there's always that missing out on that thing that could have done. I'll read the comments from Anthony. Hi, Nok. I have a friend with me right now who has nothing to do with the art world. Yet she got so much out of listening to you talk and is awestruck. Oh, thank you. She felt your purity, honesty, and depth in your heart, and so on. It connected with her. She says that we need more people like you in this world, and thank you, and continue being amazing for. Oh, thank you so much for your kind words. One thing I like to say is I like to say I'm trash. And then people are like, what? No, you're not. How can you say that to yourself? But I like to say, because I'm trash, I am a trash can and not a trash cannot. um and when people say, like, in the industry, sometimes it can get really harsh, where it's like, hey, no, you did this, how can you do this, blah blah blah. Like, in my mind, it's like, I'm trash. Okay, how can I work better? How can I be a better person? So I set myself up to always be able to work harder and to embrace my journey on my level of growth that I can do, and also have that self-awareness to continue to grow each step of the way. And with Jan and Paula, what I'm so thankful for them is, like, I'll chat with them through from time to time. And Jan can be a psycho sometimes, that he calls me at 12 a.m. and he's like, "No, I have an idea. You need to listen to me." I'll be like, "Leave me alone. I'm trying to sleep." And he'll be like, "No, let me tell you my pitch." And then pitches his stuff, and just this most beautiful thing. And same thing with Paula. Like, I always go to her for wisdom. And when I had so much anxiety, Paula taught me how to breathe. So in a way, like, your friends become someone who kind of holds you accountable, who helps you to find yourself again when there are times when you lose yourself. And they become people who you share your dreams with, that helps you to foster your dreams. So the question you ask yourself is, the closest people that surrounds me, the five closest people, are they building me up, or are they breaking me down? And this is the ultimate question that you ask yourself, because you are the sum of the five people that is closest to you, that you interact with the most. And if you ever feel like you're in a rut, that you're not really going anywhere, try to search for people that you can help build, and they can help you build yourself up too. And then you become this really beautiful ecosystem of just following and finding your purpose again.
It's
Yeah.
such a good point, Knock, because too, like as individuals, we can waver in terms of what we do or in terms of what we think we can do, but the people we surround ourselves with
Mm.
won't waver in that same way because they can, in a way, see us more objectively.
Mm.
So I think what you're saying is really true,
Mm.
and they can help hold us up. I think Tori has a hand up. Tori, did you want to go ahead and ask a question or say something?
Hi.
Hi.
I just want to say I love the talk so far. Oh my gosh, you just have so many beautiful things to say. I wanted to ask, I saw that you worked with like a dance group at CalArts.
Mhm.
Could you talk about that experience specifically? Because that's something that like I'm really interested in. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
For
I just
sure.
love, I want to hear what you have to say about it.
Yeah. So this is a crazy thing. So you know the people that you go to school with, you never really imagine like how everything's gonna work out together. So when I was a student at CalArts, I would like kind of sneak into the dance studio and I'm like, hey, can I draw you guys? And they were like, oh yeah, sure. And they love like artists being in the studio. So I'll just draw dancers whenever I had a free time. And they'll like invite me to things. It's like, hey Nog, do you think like we can use some of your drawings as our poster? So we ended up like building this relationship. And after I graduated, the dancer, she was an MFA dancer, she started her own company. And it was just a moment where she was like, hey Nog, as I'm starting this company, I want to create this multidisciplinary movement of inviting animation, dancers, technology, and just like even acting and create this new medium to it. So I ended up becoming like a director of XR, extended realities to them. So this relationship that I built with the dancers, it kind of evolved to this whole new side thing. It's like a side hustle for me. But I'm developing like AR, augmented reality, and VR stuff with the dancers. So we're thinking about how audience can manipulate what they see as a dancer performs in front of you. And it's just really cool, right? Like I'm doing like animation, I do children's books. I was an art director, director. If you can find anyone that has the most ADHD in their career, I think it'll be me. I just like bounce around. But it was that openness to collaborate. It was that openness to kind of build connection. Even people who are not in my major, that really led me to just create something new. And even for my voice actors in my films, I still connect to them to this day. Even the composers, whenever I have projects in, I'll hire them to compose for us. So just like a really cool, like a nucleus that is happening. Yeah.
That's so cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I just put in the chat, if anyone wants to put your Instagrams in the chat, I'll share with Knock after so you can check out your work. So feel free to drop your, I know I'm always asking you to do this, but feel free
That's
to drop
great.
your Instagram. Robin,
Yeah.
Robin saying there might be opportunities with the dance school if you reach out to them explaining your ideas and interests. Yeah, that's a really good point. So you worked with them during CISA and built animation that dancers then danced in front of. Wow, it's an interesting way of working. I'm sure there is interest. Yeah, there's definitely got to be interest from the dance department. Thank you, Robin. Yeah, I feel it is a bit of a tough thing right now being remote. Honestly, I don't even know how the dance classes are happening. I know they are, but anyway. But this term, if there's time, we'll try to create a little more synergy with the dance school because we are very connected. But thank you for sharing that, Knock, because like you said, it's amazing how one thing then leads and grows into so much more. And in a way, we need to just sort of give it time. Time is the great fertilizer, like poop analogy, turning into diamonds. And, it's sort of like let all these things grow as people go and do stuff, Cool. Thanks everyone for putting your Instagrams in the chat. This is great. Any last questions or any sort of final words, Knock, from you that you would want to share? I mean, you've shared so much already. That's been so great. But any sort of any parting words?
Yeah, I think my parting word is I was asked this question now if you can go back to your CalArts years, what is the number one advice that you would give to yourself? And the number one thing that I said is I wish I was kinder to myself. And I think it always comes where like we're often so kind to others, but we're often the cruelest to ourselves. We tell ourselves this is not good enough, this is no good, and why are you even doing this? And you kind of like keep attacking yourself. But I think after going on this beautiful journey with my friends, I'm able to recognize, had I been nicer, I think I wouldn't have had so much anxiety. I wouldn't have had so much fear. I wouldn't have this imposter syndrome where I'm not constantly feeling not good enough. Even at work, I was like, I'm going to get fired. I'm going to get fired. Oh my gosh. It's that. And um, and lastly, some of the things I want to share with you is to also have the courage to learn the business side. I find it really exciting for me personally. You get to think about budget, how is an animation company run, and what does that mean for the artist, And if you have that business sense, then you are able to kind of take in leadership, because as a director, you're often asked to do like really crazy deadlines and to figure everything out with your producer. So having two brains, it will help you to first negotiate. If you have no idea what your rate is, one thing I want to share with you is you can go to the Animation Guild, find the weekly rates, right? That always confused me. Another way you can think about is how much do you need to survive every month. So if your month rent is like $800 and you need like $200 to like eat and do other things, you need $1,000 every month, right? Ideally, you should make at least 3 times that. I like to say, because I have student loans, I like to make 4 times that amount. So that's the very minimum that you should be making every month. So you should, if your rent and your all expenses is $1,000 a month, you should make $4,000 a month, and you can break it down by week, divide that by 4, or you can do that by year and divide that by 12 months. And then you can also do that by hours, so 40 hours a week. And that's how you can find your rates. And when you negotiate, just say, hey, I'm very excited for this role. Do you have a budget in mind? Do you know what this role might, do you have estimated budget for this role? And then if they still keep beating around the bush, then you can tell them, hey, according to the Animation Guild industry rate, I believe that based on my qualifications, this is the rate that I think will work for me. But always open it up at the end. But if you have a different number in mind, please let me know, and I'm more than happy to talk with you. And lastly, I think it is that all your alums are here for you. We feel you. We completely understand what you're going through in the spring. Seriously, at the end of this pandemic, if you want to grab coffee, if you need food, if you want to go grab food, hit me up. I'd love to, chat and connect. And yeah, just enjoy the ride.
Thank you, Nook.
Thank you, everyone.
You're truly one of the most generous people I know, not only in terms of your many amazing offers towards people, but also just your generosity of spirit, your generosity of sharing your experiences and your thoughts and your heart with all of us. So I can't thank you enough for talking to us today. And yeah, this has to be a regular thing. It really, really does. And thank you everyone for the wonderful comments in the chat. So Nak, I'm going to share everyone's Instagrams later with you. And yeah, thank you everyone. Such sweet comments. I love, that's one thing I like about Zoom. Oh, super great. So yeah, and Nak, you can find him on social media. Actually, let me link to his, you might all follow him already, but I'll just link Instagram.
Thank
so you can follow him. Let's see here. And of course, I think many of you have met Jan before, so you have his, but I'm going to link as well. And then also Paula's. Fun. Sneak peek, but Paula's going to be speaking later in the month because of certain things we're going to be doing. So those are the 3 links right there. So I think we'll wrap this up, although I would love to spend more time, so we'll just have to arrange that. But Nak, again, thank you for your beautiful presentation and your beautiful words, and keep doing all the great things you're doing. And I know just the sky's the limit, and we appreciate you so very much. And I wish you were still a student, but I'm glad that you're out there. I wish you could do this every day. And Jan and Paula, thanks so much for joining. And Jan is going to do a talk tomorrow night, so you'll get a chance to see him then. And like I said, Paula will be doing something or other in a few weeks that that I'll announce. So yeah, let's have Knock every week. You can just do the rest of the Friday night talks this semester. That would be great.
Sending y'all much love. Have the most beautiful spring semester.
Thank you, Knock. Thank you everyone for joining. Andrew, my fellow faculty member, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And everyone who joined today, thanks for your awesome hearts in the chat. I'm just gonna stop the recording.